Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It is so great to be with everyone here today. Hope you guys are getting ready and enjoying what's going on, with, I guess, getting ready for your holidays and stuff like that. So, definitely hope you guys will enjoy all these wonderful holidays that are upon us, which is 4th of July, and we're celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States of America. So again, welcome everyone. If this is your very first time here, I want to take the opportunity to say, welcome, and I want to say thank you. If you've been here one time, 5 times, 10 times, or maybe even 100 or more, or lost track of the count, I want to say not only thank you and welcome, but I want to say the words welcome back. I really do appreciate people that are all about wanting to improve their lives. It is such a pleasure to be with you guys here. If you're thirsty, if you're hungry, feel free to go grab something real quick and come on back. And then after the show is over, feel free to dive on over to believemeachieve.com again for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring. Ed, ready? I know I'm ready. But let's go ahead and kick this off, because I have another amazing show for you guys, and it's just so great to be with everyone here. We start our topics, our master topics, just so you know, they start off on Saturday and they finish up on a Friday. That's how we work this. So this is Inspirations for Your Life. And again, it's so great to be with all of you guys. The master topic for the week, which kicked off last Saturday, is how to let go and level up. It is Series 5, and it is show number 27. And today's episode, this Wednesday, is How Discipline Beats Motivation. Series 5, show 27, episode number 5. It's a wonderful Wednesday. It is July 1st if you're watching me live. And discipline is structure. Motivation is noise. Now, I know in a long time in the past, we've always heard that motivation is the key. Well, motivation, as we said, fades sometimes. Okay. So welcome everyone to the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student at Montclair State University, passionate lifelong learner, and grateful to now be a published author. All right, guys, it is so great to be with everyone here. Today, I'm focusing on a major truth in performance and personal development. What is that? Motivation is not the system. Sorry to tell you that. Discipline is. And the difference between the two determines long-term success. I think that's important for everyone here to understand. The core message is this: motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. And I've said you have to have structure and consistency to succeed. Motivation is inconsistent. Discipline is reliable. If you depend on motivation, your results will unfortunately fluctuate because it works on your mood, how you feel. If you depend on discipline, your results will compound like interest on money in your bank account or CD. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where change begins. And many people, they miss this because they don't understand the whole truth. I think that's an important thing, again, that a lot of people just don't understand. It is so great to be with everyone here. The first point is motivation fades, but discipline compounds over time. Consistency is built through structure, not emotion. And that's something that a lot of people miss. It's pretty interesting. So, number 2, stop asking how you feel and start asking what you scheduled. Execution follows structure, okay? Number 3, systems make success repeatable and, of course, scalable. Now, random effort does not compound, right? It just doesn't. We have to have consistency and we have to have structure. Or, guys, we don't get success. We do not get success. Unfortunately, that's how all this works. So, yeah, very interesting to understand that. Number 4, guys, Build routines instead of relying on inspiration. Routines remove decision fatigue, which kind of creeps in on us. Number 5, small habits stacked daily outperform big bursts of effort that many people try to put forth. Consistency will always beat the intensity, right? What I tell you, consistency and structure is what you need for success. Number 6, guys, make bad choices harder to access in your environment. Design influences the behavior, and behavior is what's going to affect our success going forward. That's important. Number 7, good choices should be easy to start, not hard. Friction determines the action. And friction's actually good, right? We've learned that. If we didn't have friction, guys, you know what we couldn't have? Well, we couldn't walk, right? We need friction to be able to walk. I think that's a very important thing to understand. What's going on and why that's going on, because a lot of people just don't seem to understand that. All right, that's a very important thing that most people they miss. Number 8, design your day around your priorities, not distractions. Structure creates a unique alignment, and the more that we can embrace that, the more chances we're going to see success sooner than later. Number 9, reset quickly when you slip without emotional drama. Recovery speed matters, right? I think we always said it's not the case of whether you get up, immediately, but you do keep getting up. And the big question is not how many times you go down, but how many times you get back up. I think that's probably one of the most important things that I can actually share with you. So that's a very important thing, guys. Number 10, no 0 days means progress every single day. A 0 day means you never skip. Minimum effort still builds momentum. So don't make something so difficult that you're going to be like, oh, I can never do that every day. Do something small. Do something small, but do it over and over again. If you do it over and over again, what's going to happen is you will get success in your life. So that's a very important thing to understand, that's happening. And so, yeah, it's interesting when we think about that. Number 11, guys, consistency is more powerful than the intensity. And I've said this time in and time again, but most people don't get that until they're actually involved with it. They're like, well, wait a minute, I'm pouring my whole heart out, I'm putting all my energy out, but I'm not getting anywhere. Do it consistently. Don't burn yourself out, right? Sustainable effort always will win. Even when you think doing more than someone else is going to beat you, it's not doing more, it's doing it consistently, because if you do more and you can't keep up with it, you're going to fall out and you're going to stop. If you do something small and you're consistent, you're probably going to beat the other person out of it because you're going to be consistent and you're going to take the actions every single day. And I think that's the most important thing of life. Number 12, do the hardest task early to build momentum. I learned this a long time ago. Many times I wanted to do the smaller task because I figured it would be easier to do the small one. But no, when you do the harder task first, you actually build stamina, you build momentum, and you get that natural dopamine feeling in your brain that makes you want to continue going on. And I know a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do the hard thing first, right? I want to just complain. But complaining is not what it's about. Okay, complaining is not what it's about. And I think that's an important thing that many people here just don't realize, that we have to do the right thing over and over again. And again, that can be a hard thing. All right, it can be a hard thing for a lot of people to understand. But we have to keep moving forward with it. And if we keep moving forward with it, then we'll find that it gets a little bit easier. And that's an important thing. So again, consistency and structure. Number 13, guys, if it matters, it belongs on your calendar. I've said this before. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay? If you want something that matters, you got to make sure it's scheduled and it's on your calendar. All right? So make sure it gets on your calendar. Treat your calendar like money, because your time is money. Scheduling turns intention into execution. So let's stop procrastination and let's keep scheduling, all right? Smartly, that is. Number 14, self-trust is built through kept promises. I know a lot of people say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But you know what happens? They fall short. And you might think, well, gee, that's terrible. And it is. But if people keep doing this over and over again, then I know that people don't really understand the value of accountability. They don't understand what it means to say yes to yourself and say yes to others. Because if you can't say yes to yourself or to others, you're going to let yourself down time in and time again. You first got to be able to commit to yourself. Once you start committing yourself, then you commit to others. But don't think you got to commit to others every single day. You don't. Don't let their tactics, try to bulldoze you into that, because that's something people are good at doing. Number 15, track your actions, not your emotions. I know you want to track it because you don't feel good or you feel bad. Let the emotions go, okay? Data beats feeling. I remember going into a courtroom the very first time. Luckily, I won, and other times I won as well. But I have to tell you, it's not about the emotion in the courtroom. It's, okay, the statistics, the truth. If you start putting in all the emotion in there, the judge has to first of all figure out, well, how do I balance this so that, we make sure that this is a fair case? And that becomes a problem. If you just give he or she the truth, then life becomes a lot easier for you and for them. And there's a good shot you're probably going to win that case, okay? But track your actions, not your emotions. Data always beats the feelings. And this is not just for, things you're doing today or tomorrow. This is things you're doing your entire life. So people say to me, John, well, what happens when it's a friendship or relationship? Well, I get that, you want to do it on emotion. I get it. But you know what? You've got to use a little bit of logical know-how. You know why? Because sometimes you will decide to do something because of your feelings, but it might not be the best thing for you. So you've got to make sure that you are doing the right thing all the time. So yes, your emotions can play a little bit in there, but you've got to make sure that you're doing the right thing day in and day out. And if you are, then that logic and emotion, they're going to come in tandem. If you're only making a decision just on the emotions for, let's say, a relationship, well, that's a problem. You've got to look at both sides of the coin. Now, in business, we look at basically the non-emotions all the time. Can there be times that we weigh an emotion in there to have a difference? Yes, but you can't have it tumble the whole thing, right? Can you make something a little bit lighter or weigh it a little bit less heavy because of the emotion, because there's something that was valid? Yes, but just be careful. Don't be a sucker on that, because otherwise people will be doing it all the time. Number 17, discipline is self-respect in action. Behavior reflects identity day in and day out. If you don't get that, you will unfortunately miss a lot of lessons. And you'll be coming out very sad because you're going to wonder why things are happening to you and not to others. It's because you're treating everything with emotion and you're responding only because of emotion. That's the best way I can explain that one to you. Number 18, treat goals like non-negotiable commitments, because that's what they are. Seriousness creates structure. What I say we need structure and we need consistency. People that are not serious do not create structure, and they're not consistent. They just kind of wing it, and they hope that maybe this is the one time. Could they get lucky? Yes. But will they keep getting lucky? No. And eventually what will happen is they'll lose their shirt because they're not operating with a system that's consistency and structure. They just got one win, right? They just got lucky. That doesn't keep happening. Number 19, remove optional behavior from critical habits. Sometimes people have all this extra stuff that they want to do, but the truth of the matter is it has to come down to who you are. It has to come down to your own personality. And other people are going to do things to try to tell you that your way isn't right. Because, well, let's face it, not everybody's fair. And so yes, you've got to be like your own judge to kind of judge character. And people, why do they do this? Well, because they're trying to manipulate you, right? So remove optional behavior from critical habits and you'll be a lot happier. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, eliminate decision points when you do this, because when you do that, it makes it so you have less things to do and the process is going to be a lot smoother. Number 20, guys, learn to automate tasks that drain mental energy. This does not mean put your whole life on autopilot. This is not what this means. This means you can use systems like AI to help you automate tasks or scripts, etc., but you don't run your whole life on autopilot, because if you do, you're going to find your life just passing by you so quickly because you're not enjoying the moments, right? I talk about this in my book, Burnout, Drained to Driven. Many people feel that if they just keep pushing harder, the harder they push, the more they're going to get done. Well, it might seem like that at first, but then slowly what's going to happen is they're going to lose, let's say, desire to want to do things anymore. And that's the slow attack of burnout. When you recognize that you're starting to lose interest in things you really love, that's a sign you got to slow down. That's a sign you got to start enjoying the moments of life. The problem is most people don't ever learn this lesson until it's too late. By the time they learn the lesson, they've injured themselves. They've done things that precludes them from making it hard to get their dreams. Could they still get them? Yes, but it'll be a lot harder. So automate those tasks that drain mental energy. You can do that right now. And systems will protect your focus. So develop those systems carefully, review them, make sure they're working to produce the same results that you expect. Okay. Number 21. Learn how to protect your attention like it has high value, because every second, every moment of your time has value. Focus is a limited resource. When we say, oh, I've got all the time, don't let people abuse your time, because when they abuse your time and you do it once, they'll do it again. Let me give you an example. Maybe you take somebody out to lunch, business client, and maybe you're not expecting anything, but you find that they're draining you, right? Or they haven't done what they promised to do. They're supposed to follow up with you, but they don't. What does that mean? That means that lunch was a loss, right? But it also means you better not give them any more in the future. These are the key things. Anyways, oh, I was being kind. There's a difference between being kind and being taken advantage of. Number 22. Do not wait for a reset moment. Start immediately. Start right now. You see, guys, delay reduces momentum. Okay? The more we delay, the more we procrastinate. The more we procrastinate, the more we lose interest. The more we lose interest, the more things don't get done. Number 23, guys. Your daily actions define your personality. So we have to understand something. Behavior will build our identity. We talked a lot about identity last night. So identity is a very, very big part of our lives. If we don't understand that, then I think we got to go back and really take some understanding to what identity is. Identity comes from our core values. We don't just pull identity out of the air. But when we resonate with identity, the rest of our life just kind of goes into a natural flow. All right, that's important. Number 24. Number 24 is a very important one. And that is, your future is built through repetition, not intention. Intentions are good, but you have to keep repeating. You have to keep doing these over and over again, right? If you want to get in shape, you don't just do your exercises one day, right? You have to keep doing them over and over and over and over again, right? We've heard that the mother of skill is repetition. You probably heard before that repetition is destiny. Repetition is not always pleasurable. It has some discomfort, but you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it until you're like, oh, wait a minute, I just have to do this. Like, it's like there's no choice. You want to do it. Okay. That is what discipline is. Motivation gets you started, but discipline is what keeps you doing it. Number 25, guys. Each discipline choice you make trains your brain. What happens? Neural pathways strengthen through these actions. And it makes it part of a very powerful system that keep you doing those tasks. Number 26, guys. Discipline feels hard at first, but it's natural later. Repetition creates ease. But I don't want you to tell you that it's going to happen tomorrow, because repetition is never easy the very first time you do it. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Right? Let me give you an example. Many of you remember tying your shoes, right? So I have a question for everybody. Does everybody know that maybe know the answer to this? How many times, you guys know the answer? How many times does it take to learn how to tie your shoelace? How many times? So for most people, it could take a few days to a few weeks. The process usually requires 10 to 30 practice sessions based on people's age, their motor skills. Children typically learn between the ages of 4 and 6, as that's when their hand-eye coordination develops, spatial awareness develops. It's completely normal for some to grasp the motion almost immediately. Others may take up to a few months. Adults or older children who never fully learn can often pick up the skill in just a day or two of focused effort. So one thing that I never learned, but I finally did learn, and I actually wound up learning it in college, which was how to make a tie. Right? I had worn clip-on ties even in parochial grammar school. After 5th grade, you're supposed to, wear a regular tie, but I just kept wearing the clip-on tie throughout. Just never bothered to learn. And then when a good friend of mine showed me how to do it, it just becomes second nature to me. The pattern, you could use the thing about the rabbit going around the hole, coming up and down, and whatever you want to use. But now it's just natural to me, right? And that pattern, what did it take? It took, I would say this one person spent like maybe 2 or 3 times. The first time they did it with me, put my tie on. A second time they did it. A third time. And each time we did it maybe 2 or 3 times. So I got it after watching and participating in it, because they did it while the tie was on me. So I felt the process. It wasn't just like I was doing it on somebody else. So I actually was learning it while they were tying it on me, which is a little bit different, because if you just do it on not on a person, it's harder, right? So discipline does feel hard, but natural flow happens later. Repetition makes it easier. But in the beginning, you're like, there's no way I can do this. So you need somebody that can give you a little nudge, somebody that can tell you, you can do this. This isn't that hard, right? Tying your shoelace might be harder than doing a tie, actually. I think tying a shoelace might be harder than tying a tie, actually. Number 27. Motivation is a spark. Okay. It can die. Discipline is the engine, right? Motivation is that spark you get when you're trying to light a candle. The discipline is actually the fire that keeps the flame going while you ignite the candle. See, sparks do not sustain movement, unfortunately, guys. They're nice. They might be pretty to watch, but they don't cause momentum. They come and they go. That's how they work. Number 28. Your calendar reflects your identity, direction. See, time allocation reveals priorities. True story. It was right around COVID time, and that's when I started doing digital calendars a while back. And I remember just opening my whole calendar up and just saying anybody can be on the calendar, right? Didn't realize how a lot of these people, not saying bad about them, but they were trying to pitch me from these online networking events. And I was giving people like hours of time. And before I knew it, my day and my week was just getting so filled. I'm like, for what? All this garbage. So now I still let people schedule time with me, but I give them a controlled link that might let them have 15 or 30 minutes. People that want 60 minutes, I send that out very sparingly. And usually those appointments, most of the time, are charged for, unless it's a special meeting that I believe would be a mutual benefit. So these are important things to understand, guys. Very important. Number 29, discipline is how you level up and stay there. Maintenance requires structure, right? Requires structure, just like learning how to tie the tie. Once I learned how to tie the tie, I'm pretty much good at it, right? I probably tie a tie once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. Number 30, every repeated action is a vote for your future self. Identity is built through repetition. That's what you need to get. So, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, here is the truth. Are you ready for the truth? Motivation will not carry your life. I'm sorry to say. It will start things, but it will not finish them. Discipline is what builds the consistency, and consistency is what builds success. So if you want to level up, which is what we're doing this whole week, stop chasing motivation. Stop. Because you're not going to be happy with the results, because motivation will wane depending on your moods, depending on even the weather, right? Because that'll affect your mood. Start building structure. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And this is where discipline becomes your advantage. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been Inspirations for Your Life, where we talked about how discipline beats motivation in our series about something very important, which is how to let go and level up. And I think sometimes when we try to let go, we think we've immediately got to replace that with something. We don't need to rush. It'll be filled in time. Have a great one, everyone. Be well. And remember to watch BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations.